right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for another edition of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. It's the North Carolina Drive for the Cure 250 at the Charlotte Roval. It is the cutoff race in the round of 12 of the playoffs for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That means we have just 2 drivers locked into the next round already off wins, 6 more to lock their spots into the round of 8 here today. Everything is coming your way live here on KRC. Big day on the channel. We've got this stream. Then coming up after this, have the NASCAR Fantasy Podcast leading you into the start of the Darlington race today. And then after that concludes the Darlington race, that is later on tonight, NASCAR 05 Cup Series racing at Atlanta will return. Should be a lot of fun. Big day on the channel once again here on your race day Sunday. Thanks for everybody watching here. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys every day on the channel here, except for race weekends that I am traveling to the track. That would include next week coming up at Dover. But without further ado, we have this 55-lap race to go through. Something I do want to mention also is that the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode crashed on me again. I should say NASCAR Heat 5 crashed on me again. And I should have saw this coming because it crashed after the Bristol race. But it did save the actual race and everything that happened there, luckily. But I had to actually redo the pick whatever I was going to do for my incentive goal or my incentive bonus with Credit One Bank being our primary sponsor. So I had to redo that one. I just picked the closest one to it, so be it. Well, when it crashed again, good news is I was able to actually pick that bonus and just replay the same one again. The bad news is it did not save the Las Vegas race. So what I did was same thing I did on the Truck Series races, that I think it was 4 to 6 races in a row that it did not save. I would just go back in, I'd redo it. I couldn't do the stage point, or couldn't get exact stage points for every single driver, and everybody was going to likely finish in a different position as well. So I just finished in the same spot I finished from the race before, so that way I could at least get the same amount of money for income from the race and not get an advantage or a disadvantage there. So the money we have in the bank is still the same amount, but where we're lacking is unfortunately the fact that we had to redo that race. So with me redoing it, that means I had to go back through to the end of the stream from 2 nights ago at Las Vegas. We did not stream last night. So I went back through to the finish of the Vegas race 2 nights ago. I got all the standings accurate, and I have them right here for you guys today. So here are the points going in again. 2 drivers locked in on wins. Keegan Schneider winning at Bristol, and then Justin Allgaier winning at Las Vegas. Those are the 2 drivers locked into the round of 8 already. 6 drivers still to try and lock their spots up here today at the Charlotte Roval. 51 points ahead of the cutoff line. Currently third is the number 1 seed, Harrison Burton. You remember, he's the most winningest driver this year. Didn't win the regular season championship, but he had the most playoff points, so he was the number 1 seed. He's looking very, very comfortable. Again, 51 points above. He can lock it up here in the stages today alone, depending on how many stage points he scores. Michael Annett is 31 points above the cutoff line, 4th seed right now. Also looking pretty good, ran very well at Las Vegas. Brandon Jones is also looking pretty good, 25 points above the cutoff line. Jones trying to make it on in with a couple other Toyotas perhaps to the round of 8 today. Austin Cindric, road course specialist, should be one of the favorites for today's race. He's only 11 points above the cutoff line in the 6th seed. The reason why he's only 11 points ahead is because he DNF'd in stage 2, and Las Vegas had a last place finish and didn't score many stage points on top of it. Brandon Brown having a miracle run in the playoffs right now. Came in as the number 12 seed, the last coming in, but you know what? He's 7 points above the cutoff line with 2 top 10s to start off. He's doing just enough to get above that cutoff line. We'll see how he'll do today. He ran pretty decent on the road courses earlier this year, so high hopes for Brandon Brown to maybe point his way into the round of 8. And Chase Briscoe, the regular season champion, is only 7 points above the cutoff line, currently in the number 8 seed. Brown's got the tiebreaker to do a better finish in this round. That is the tiebreaker, with Brown finishing 8th at Bristol. So no top 10s for Briscoe in the first 2 races. He's just flat out been struggling as of right now. Let me get the chat up on my phone, because I don't think it's coming up on my laptop at all here. We got 8 people watching. Again, thanks for everybody tuning in. So if you guys are in the chat for whatever reason, it's either not working on my behalf or nobody has been in the chat yet. We got a decent amount of people watching. I'd have to assume somebody's in the chat, so sorry if I haven't shouted you out like I usually do. No, nobody's in the chat right now. Okay, well, hey, thanks for everybody tuning in. Okay, so the 4 drivers below the cutoff line coming in. Daniel Hemrick is the closest. He's only 6 points below the cutoff line. Jeremy Clements is only 7 points below the cutoff line. He's a very good road course racer, so he's still got a good chance. And then the 2 drivers that are very well below the cutoff line, almost in a must-win situation, or they're going to need a lot of help on points, is Anthony Alfredo. He is 21 points below the cutoff line in the number 21 car. And currently last on the playoff grid is Noah Gragson. Despite starting on the pole in the last race at Las Vegas, he ended up DNF. Any stage points finished last, and then in the second race he blew a tire at the end of stage 1, scoring no stage points. He did rally back to get a top 20 finish, but it was still all he could do there. So he is 27 points below the cutoff line with 2 bad races for himself. Jackson Thomas and Fred Fed Ted Bread and Ted Fed Fred Bread. Welcome to the stream. I've never seen you, but welcome. And thanks for tuning in. So here we go. Again, have to do the points myself throughout the course of today's race. I will do the best I can to get it as accurate as I can. I will get it accurately, so we'll find out at the end of the race regardless who will be in. Alex LeMay, road course specialist himself, starting on the pole. He is not a playoff driver, but could pull off an upset today. Landon Castle doesn't seem to be as fast for today's race either, but we'll see how this is going to go. We'll start our Sunday streaming on the channel here. Green flag in the air. We are underway at the Charlotte Roval. I qualified in the 18th position in qualifying, so we'll see how that's going to go as well. 15 laps in stage 1. 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through the field right now. Off the initial start, through the Tums Hartburn turn, into the first couple turns now. Schneider trying to take care of his car. That was something he was not able to do in the last road course race at Watkins Glen, and it cost him a ton. 3 wide in the middle portion of the racetrack right now in the infield with Ross Chastain. Balicki, David Starr slides underneath the 99, who slides into the 10 of Ross Chastain. Exactly where Schneider qualified at Watkins Glen was 18th as well, so this is tied for his best qualifying round this season. And that was with a lot of traffic around him in qualifying. He felt like he didn't run a good lap at all in that opening round because there were a lot of cars around him, could never really get in free space, so you wondered how good the racetrack is going to be. He could be faster in the race compared to qualifying as he passes CJ McLaughlin right back. Not being extra aggressive early. Remember, he's already locked into the playoffs, so he's just simply trying to get the best finish he can for money purposes for this team, plus whatever playoff points he can get if he wins the stage or wins the race. Playoff points are awarded there, and they will carry over into the round of 8. Back to Ross Chastain there, a little bump and run, getting into the front stretch chicane, but he gets around it. Right side. Slides underneath David Starr in the 6. Couldn't make the pass. Still a lot of 2 by 2 action through the field. Chastain gives the bumper right back to Schneider.
Clear right.
Probably deservedly so. Schneider bouncing heavily off these curves. Stays in front of Chastain for the moment. And again, Schneider gets right underneath David Starr. Got the power down on him. All over the back of Anthony Alfredo for position. Oh man, drives it into the side of Timmy Hill 3 wide as they get back onto the oval, and Hill about sideswept the 99 on the outside of Josh Balicki as well after getting sandwiched between the 2 99 cars. Nathan Satan, welcome to the stream also. By the way, Alex LeMay was later at the end of lap 1. Schneider's only gained 1 spot since the start of the race. On Timmy Hill. Hill slides the tires a little bit. Schneider to the outside, trying to side draft him down through the oval in 3 and 4, and has to duck back in line behind him. Timmy Hill is one of the drivers that helped Schneider up in qualifying. He felt like he was faster than him, but couldn't get a good lap in. I even tried 4 laps too. Tried backing off, and then somebody else would come out of the pits. Be stuck right behind him.
Right side.
Heavily battling though with Timmy Hill right now in the 66 for MDM, And that opens the door for Ross Chastain. Schneider slides into Timmy Hill into turn 3.
Left side.
Finally got around him with a little bump and run. Accidentally was trying to cut down in front of the 10 car, so he had to gas it up. And he overran the corner into the back of Hill. Hill goes a little sideways. And not only Schneider got around him, it looks like Ross Chastain's going to get around him also. Biggest purse will be the payout for this race compared to any other race we have the rest of the season. That is why it is huge to get a good finish here today with this being the career mode. We can hopefully have over $1 million in the bank. Really trying to save up for that short track chassis if we make the championship 4 so we can have a legitimate shot at Phoenix for the championship. If we make the championship 4, we don't have a short track chassis, we're probably not going to run well at all considering we might have to win the race even to win the championship. Although Schneider did win the last short track race at Bristol without a short track chassis, there was a lot of luck involved there, especially including a 97 lap green flag run to the finish. Sorry, 107 lap green flag run to the finish. Where if he didn't have that, he wouldn't have had that long run speed to run down sooner to the closing laps. Contact with Chastain. He got a little sideways, hangs on to it.
Left side.
Ross seems to be a little bit quicker than Schneider early, and they are battling hard for position. This contact again is accidental, but when two drivers are driving hard like they are and side by side like they are right now around a very, very narrow road course, especially the infield portion of the racetrack, and Chastain gets back into Schneider. So it's going hand in hand. It's not like Schneider's only running into him. That's the second time Chastain has gotten into him now. The back bumper, so they're going back and forth really hard again early in this race. And Schneider again back into him in the middle of the backstretch chicane. CNN Real News Sports, welcome to the stream. It's got a dose of speed. Definitely the worst parts of the racetrack that I noticed in qualifying and that I'm noticing early on in the race is when we're on the actual oval itself. Not so much on the front stretch in the chicanes, but oval turns 1 and 2, oval 3 and 4, those longer straightaways, the time where you're on the throttle the most in 4th gear, that's where it seems to really struggle the most. He's not finding any consistency right now. It's only lap 5, but again, this is only a 55 lap race, so it is not long. And poor Brandon Brown is slipping right now. Ross Chastain gets to the outside of him trying to make a pass. So Chastain's going to go the long route, and that's going to allow Schneider to close the gap. He's going to get underneath Chastain after Chastain failed to make the pass to move into the top 15. Brandon Brown came in 7 points above the cutoff line. This is a big day. Career for Brandon Brown. Schneider gets underneath Chastain. Chastain runs into him. Look at how wide Schneider went. Just can't go side by side in these chicanes. This place a big wreck right there. R6, welcome to the stream. No, remember, we won at Bristol, so we're in the next round of the playoffs. Yeah, no pressure on us today, thankfully. So we're running 17th right now. I feel like the car is fast enough to maybe run the top 10 and get the track. The road courses have been one of the strong suits for Schneider this season. Very consistent. He's finished 7th through 10th in all 3 races. 7th through 12th in all 3 races, with Watkins Glen being the 12th. And that was probably a day where he probably had a faster of the road course races so far as his race car goes. But he couldn't get the track position late, plus he had a little bit of damage, but still to get a 12th place run out of it, it's not bad at all. Alex Savea's led every lap early. Josh Williams is fading. Brandon Brown desperately trying to get around it. Every point matters, but even though we're in stage 1, not in a position there to get stage points, love to see how it goes. Caution's out for the first time today at lap 6. Justin Haley's going to try to pit. A strategy call for him and his crew. So So LeBay looked like he was pulling away from Gregson on back. This is big for Gregson. He is 27 points below the cutoff line. I mean, this is just almost a must-win situation for Gregson. Him running second here in stage 1. It could be pretty well for him, really. And how about Jeremy Clements as well? 7 points below the cutoff line. Hemrick, 6 points below the cutoff line. They're all in the top 5. So with the pit stop by Haley, Schneider will restart 16th. Everybody else gets to stay out of the pits here. We're not going to have many laps to go. Green flag back in the air here at the Charlotte Roval. On the outside, definitely didn't help him. Still kind of stuck on the top lane. Chastain spun the tires on the bottom, allowing Schneider to try to get around him on the outside, but he couldn't do it. It was a very, very tight corner in turn 2. But now he's got the advantage into 3. Sends it underneath Brandon Brown and Josh Williams. Didn't make any contact there. Nice clean pass on Brandon Brown to get to 14. So 2 spots gained on the outside lane of the restart for Schneider. Already 1 spot more than he gained on the initial start when he started at 18. Now he's working on Josh Williams for position as well. And in between Williams and Bilicki, 3 wide up the middle goes Schneider. Somehow they never make contact, and they're still 3 wide in the oval in 1 and 2. Schneider drops in line to block Brown and stay on the inside behind Josh Williams in the 92, who barely clears Bilicki now down the back straightaway. Schneider sends it into the chicane on the backstretch to get around not 1, but 2 cars. Makes contact with the one of Annette, desperately trying to get maybe in position to get inside the top 10. What a restart by Schneider in the 99. He really needed that stage 1 caution. Buff Biffle, big welcome to the stream.
Right side.
Schneider slides underneath the net, barely kept it off him right there. It was a big hop off the curving.
Right side.
Now into turn 1, he has a chance, self-clears himself over the 1, and Bilicki was able to make the pass on Michael Annette in the 1 car as well. Still got in the back of Harrison Burton. Schneider to 11th, race high. And he felt he had a top 10 car in qualifying, but all the traffic in the session qualifying, he wasn't able to really showcase it. Desperately trying to get through traffic here. Ryan Seed, Ray Black Jr., they're side by side for 8th, allowing Harrison Burton to get a run. Burton might take it 3 wide here. Schneider did not get back onto the oval very well, and Bilicki's trying to get back around him for 11th. Schneider's going to send it into the next corner, into this backstretch chicane again. Closes in a ton. Look at the move! Jumps off the curb.
Left side.
And Ray Black Jr. kind of shoves him back up the racetrack. How can you not make contact when you jump off the curb that drastically? Look at how much time it costed not only Schneider, but Ray Black Jr. as well. They were 3 wide. They're still side by side into the front stretch. Chicane. Ray Black gets back into the side of him.
Right side.
Schneider
5 to go.
ends up with the pass. Underneath Michael Annette. A lot of beating and banging going on here today at the Roval. Like a short track. Everybody's dire for these stage points, especially if you're in the playoffs. What throwback scheme do I like the most this year? That's a good question. Golly. For the truck series, I really liked the 02. I've always loved that Harvick GM Goodrich paint scheme that he had. Like the chrome flames. So that was pretty good. For the Xfinity series, I really like Brandon Brown's UPS car. It was either Brandon Brown's UPS or it was the Gatorade scheme that Michael Annette had. It's a toss-up between those two. I don't really know for the Cup series, though.
Excellent lap there. Good job.
Give me a second to think about the Cup series. I've seen most of them. I don't think I've seen all of them, though. Oh, wow, Jeremy Clements just got to the lead on Alex LeBay, at least for a quick second. It's a 3-car battle for the lead, in fact, as Noah Gregson's in the mix as well. All looking for the stage win, 2 of which below the cutoff line. Ryan Blaney's car looks nice, but I don't think it's the best throwback scheme. Like, if that was a normal advanced auto parts scheme, that would look sick. But I definitely want to get that die cast. Man, I don't know. Sound like a real commentator. Yep, that's the goal. Hopefully one day, oh my goodness. Big lockup of the tires into the backstretch chicane. He still gained time somehow despite locking the tires quite a bit. 8.5 seconds behind the race leaders already. 3 laps to go. Stage 1 at the line for Noah Gregson. He needs a big point stay if he's going to point his way in, and he's in position right here. Schneider gains a ton of time to the outside of Balicki for 10th into turn 1. I don't know if the top side's going to work necessarily. He actually got a good run on the top into turn 1 there. Again, he is showing some really good speed as the 99 cars are side by side. Underneath Ryan Seed, Harrison Burton.
Clear right.
3 deep, all side by side. Great action here on the road course at the Charlotte Roval early on. Schneider finally gets around Balicki. Oh, into the back of Harrison Burton, who almost goes around. And Burton beats Schneider back through the pits. And he is going to get into the 9th spot. Ryan Seed kind of pulls away. Schneider got into the back of Harrison Burton and really allowed the 39 car to pull ahead. And look at Schneider. What a pass into the backstretch chicane in the center of it. No contact necessary to move up to 9th, passing the number 1 seeded Harrison Burton.
Here we go.
Yeah, sorry I didn't answer that Cup Series question. We had a lot of action going on the track right there. Still thinking about it though, too. Honestly, the McDonald's scheme looks really good, too. It's not my favorite, though. I might have to, like, re-look at the throwback scheme at some point during the fantasy podcast and actually give my definitive answer. Because off the top of my head, I can't think of one for the Cup Series. And a lot of it's just kind of forgotten. It's been a few days since I've looked at all the schemes. Also, like Almirola's throwback. What's Almirola's throwback? I can't remember. I either can't remember or did not see that one. Still got a lot of pressure from Harrison Burton, really gapped in the backstretch chicane. Final lap of stage 1 for Noah Gregson. We'll tally all those stage points up going into stage 2. Again, I have to do the points myself at the last second here because of the game crashing, and it did not save anything that happened from Las Vegas, so I want to make sure the points are accurate. I had to go back through the stream from Friday night. Tally them into my Google Docs. So apologize for it, but again, that's a NASCAR heat problem, not a me problem. Well, it's a NASCAR heat problem that turned into a me problem, so not really anything I can do about it, though. Look at that huge clump of traffic right now, all battling for about 5th place. Maybe just inside the top 5 as well. I'll tell you what, if we didn't get that caution, I think Alex Avey would have drove away by a lot in win stage 1, because on lap 6 on that caution wave, he was way ahead of Jeremy Clements and Noah Gragson behind him. But the green-white checkered flag, for the first time today at least, is in the air, and Noah Gragson is going to win stage number 1. Here at the Charlotte Roval, Schneider brings it home in 9th. Pretty solid start despite starting 18th. This car's definitely got some speed. Jameer did the Cup second throwbacks this year. I don't think they sucked. I just don't think there was that like top tier that we've seen in the last couple years, which kind of held the Cup Series back. But I don't think they sucked. Except for Stenhouse's, but that's like the only one that really I didn't like, honestly. So again, Gragson wins stage number 1. Gonna pause it for a quick little second here. Looks like everybody's staying out of the pits during the stage break as well, so that's an interesting strategy. Let's see here. So, gonna have to go into my Google Docs and get the points all tallied up and ready to go. So, Harrison Burton got 1 point. Of the playoff drivers, Rory locked into the next round. All guys locked into the next round. Sieg's a non-playoff driver. Daniel Hemrick finished 6th. He was 6 points below the cutoff line, so he gets 5 points right there. And that actually moves him now only 1 point behind Chase Briscoe. But Briscoe finished 6th, so never mind. I didn't even see that. That's what sucks about having to do the points myself, but I want to make sure this is accurate. We have the right drivers in the round of 8, because this game's probably going to say otherwise. Let's see. Hopefully all the guys are the same and this one saves, and then we just reset next round anyway, and we're all good to go. Well, no, we wouldn't be reset anyway, because all the playoff points from the last race have to carry over too, so never mind. Guess I'll be doing the points myself the rest of the season, at least till the championship 4. Let's see. So Chase Briscoe had 6 points again. He finished in 5th in the stage. So he outscored Hemrick by 1. Brandon Brown didn't get any, though. Jeremy Clements got to scroll up now. Jeremy Clements finished 2nd in the stage. I think I got that right. Clements finished 3rd. Okay, so Jeremy Clements finished 3rd in the stage. And then Gragson obviously won. 10. Eight. Then Cindric finished 4th, so he gets 7 points. Okay, all ready to go. So everybody's going to be staying out of the pits. Nobody went a lap down in stage 1 due to the caution coming out 6 laps in, and it was already a short stage as it was, due to a lot of negative comments.
Coming to the green, driver.
Like whites.
Ready.
That'd be hilarious.
Right side.
Green flag back in the air. Schneider actually gets to restart in the bottom lane this time, so the preferred lane on the restart sends it into turn 1 underneath Allgaier. You don't usually see the 99 team race this aggressively.
Clear right.
They got nothing to lose. They're just trying to take advantage on these restarts underneath Cindric and Briscoe. Makes the pass into the top 5. Clements and Alex LeBay battling for second still with Briscoe right behind both of them. Briscoe came in 7 points above the cutoff line despite being the regular season champ. Terrible opening round for him. Thanks for stopping by, though, Buffalo.
Right side. All right, you're clear there.
They're so good into the braking zone and both chicanes, and he just drilled the curbing at an awkward angle, and it just not only wheel hopped the front tires, but shot him into the right rear of Briscoe. Briscoe somehow did not spin out. Lucky that didn't add any more damage onto the race car, even though it shouldn't do that, but not a very good front stretch chicane, though. He's still holding on to 6th. Only Cindric was able to get by him after that little bit of a mishap. Gregson really pulling away off this restart, picking up where he left off after winning stage 1. Another playoff point as well if he does make it into the next round. I mean, he just had a brutal first 2 races. Again, in race 1 of this round, he DNF'd in stage 1. At Bristol, crashed out, and then in stage number 2 at Las Vegas, he blew a tire. And again, came back to, stage 1 rather, blew a tire, and came back to finish 20th, top 20th. So Gregson needs these points, 27 down. He got 10 back. With Brandon Brown being 7 points above the cutoff line. The problem is, for Gregson, as far as points go, is there's 2 other drivers below the cutoff line of Jeremy Clements and Daniel Henry. Emmerich 6 points back, Clements 7 points back, and they are both scoring a lot of stage points as well, and they both finished top 6 too. So although Gregson was gaining on the original cut line, that cut line's only moving up as he's moving up. So even if he, say, wins this stage, if Clements and Henrik score a lot of stage points again, I mean, it's just going to be a situation where Gregson, despite winning the first 2 stages, is only going to gain maybe 10 points at the most. And he's still going to be almost 20 points below the cutoff line in the final stage. So something bad's either going to have to happen to Clements. Those guys really all just battling up there. And around the cutoff line, Briscoe as well, only 7 points above. He finished in the top 5. Cindric, 11 points above. He finished top 5 in the stage. The only guy around the cutoff line that was nowhere to be found in the opening stage was Brandon Brown, who finished outside the top 10, so he's off to a rough start. He was dropping back pretty quick as well. Gregson pulling away. You can see that 3-car battle continuing for second between Alex LeBay, who currently has a spot, side by side for third, into the backstretch chicane right now between Briscoe and Clements. A really good backstretch chicane. He's slowly trying to gain on Austin Cindric, perhaps, and those guys still side by side. They not only made it with no contact through the backstretch chicane, but they're slowing each other up so much that not only LeBay's pulling away, but here comes Cindric to the back bumpers. I'm sure Schneider's going to be there here pretty soon as well if they can't clear each other. Great front stretch chicane for Schneider to hit his marks perfect. Only 9 laps to go in stage 2 already, and finally Clements is able to clear the 98 of Briscoe. And Briscoe was the guy on the attack originally anyway. He might be able to get back to his inside again. You never know. Rick right there in front. Schneider looks underneath him for 5th. They're trying to beat him back to the gas, up onto the oval. Slide job. Cindric is right there. Schneider accidentally dropped it to first gear, and that killed his momentum. And Cindric drives on by. Schneider's been pretty good, though, in the braking zones of the chicanes. Gained some time on Cindric again. He's even better in the front stretch chicane than what he is in the back stretch chicane, so that should help a lot too. Kyle Button, welcome to the stream. Yeah. Wind foul reference right there. There's that huge gain again on Cindric in the front stretch chicane. 8 laps to go on the stage. Gains into turn 1. And overall, if it wasn't for the straightaway speed, this would be a race-winning car, I'd have to believe. For Schneider, a little bump onto the back of Cindric that time, desperately trying to get around him, and does. Schneider back once again inside the top 5. Stellar run for the 99 team, the second stellar run of the opening round. Remember, winning Bristol put him in a situation where he can race this aggressively. Doesn't have to use his chassis the rest of the year either, with this being the final of 4 road courses. A lot of fastest lap of the race there last time for Schneider, by the way. The lap after getting around Austin Cindric. He's pulled about a second ahead of him. This car feels very comfortable at this point in the run. And he's conserving his tires pretty well. Again, it looks like we're locking them up a lot because of the tire smoke. For the most part, we're not. For whatever reason, this game does that. Recently, at least in the career mode, it does. He's been doing that championship mode too, so. For whatever reason, it's doing that. Not actually locking up the tires and really using the tires a lot. Only halfway through the tire run. We still have not pitted yet this entire race, and we're halfway through stage 2, a little past halfway through stage 2. Only 6 to go at the line. First 2 stages, each 15 laps. Final stage, only 25. Gregson's got a chance to catch lap traffic this stage if we do go green to the end of it. Schneider's half tempted to try and pull out a pit strategy, a similar one that he used at Road America earlier this season, where he had pitted before the end of the stage breaks. He did it in stage 1, took the stage points in stage 2, because at the time in the regular season he might have needed those points. Well, we know for a fact he doesn't need stage points. Playoff points are the only thing he's racing for today, so if he's not in position to win this stage, which currently he's in 5th, not far off the lead, interval-wise he's far enough back where unless Gregson makes a huge mistake, he's not catching him. And really, Briscoe's 3.5 seconds ahead of him now as well, so he's likely not even going to catch Briscoe unless Briscoe makes a big mistake also. Got to give credit to that number 9 team for just fighting. No quit in this team. After 2 pretty much mechanical failures that have taken them out of it. In the first 2 races, they're still fighting back. They're showing the same speed that really they showed the entire second half of the season. I think Gregson's won 3 races, but they've all been the second half of the regular season on. His teammate Allgaier just won the last race as well at Vegas, so they, as an organization, at least have a little bit of momentum coming into this one. Allgaier's locked in. They maybe didn't have to focus on his car as much as what they would have needed to on the 8 and the 9 cars here today. Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. Hot people up here. An extra playoff dub, indeed. It's definitely possible today. Gregson seems to have the fastest car. Looked like LeBay did in stage 1 until he got passed late on a restart. But it just seems like this 99 just keeps getting quicker throughout the day. And they haven't even had a chance to really even make an adjustment on pit road yet either. Final stage is going to be even longer, too. These guys should be able to make it on fuel the entire final stage, so the only pit stop should be just past the halfway mark total during the stage 2 break. Schneider just ran his fastest lap that time. Again, he is running some quick lap times on these older tires. He doesn't even really want to repair that damage on pit road either, because it's going to save time on his pit stop. He's got a choice to make, and it has to be this lap, but whether he pits before the stage comes to an end, or if he just sits back and just tries to restart 5th. Just got to make sure whatever he does here, he doesn't go a lap down. And again, pit road closes with 2 to go, so Gregson's just coming around to 3 to go in the stage this time. Schneider's going to pit. He's going to have to pit right now. I think he is going to make that decision. Keegan Schneider will be coming to pit road right now, sacrificing stage points that he doesn't need. He's already locked in with the win in the next round. He's in this position. It'll be a 4-tire stop under green, so he doesn't have to pit during the stage break. Probably could have forced the issue into pit road a little more. Again, he doesn't want to go a lap down. 4 seconds of damage. He'll repair that too. No adjustments on the wedge. And a pound of air pressure all the way around. The only real adjustments, he'll have enough fuel to make it to the end from here. So this is the strategy call for the 99 of Schneider. And if he just stays on the lead lap, he'll restart in the lead in the final stage. Why isn't Darlington where they have to throw that seams? They just decided doing that back in 2015, so it's not really been a long time since they've started doing it. And I think Darlington's honestly the perfect track for it. It's one of the oldest tracks on the schedule, that in Martinsville. Darlington just has that old school feel to it as a whole.
Clear the pit, hammer down.
Yeah, why not? Schneider easily still on the lead lap, and I mean, he could really save these tires too. Currently in 30th. Gregson hasn't even caught lap traffic yet, so that's the benefit with it being a road course as well, to play out that strategy. 2 laps to go, stage 1 now for Gregson. Schneider's going to try to save his tires, save his fuel. He's good on fuel. Really trying to save his tires, not trying to overwork them in the corners. If he gets caught by some of these other lap cars, no big deal. He's not racing them, he just has to stay on the lead lap. There he is, down on the apron, just again, buying his own time, staying out of the way. Chad Fincham's got to get around him. Taking it super easy, just not trying to push the car. Only 1 more lap for Noah Gragson will get to the start-finish line this time. So Schneider's just got to stay in front of him for 1 more lap, and he's not going to make a mistake going as slow as he is around this racetrack. So, I mean, really, he's fine. Gregson is close to being able to lap a couple cars as well, so that's going to slow him up also. But he's got a big lead. Gregson doing what he needs to do. Looks like he's going to win the second stage. it'll be Schneider restarting in the lead for the final stage here. Very easy getting back to the gas. Just trying not to have a wheel spin or lock the tires up. I mean, all he's got right now is just 2 chicanes to go. Gregson's still at least a handful of seconds behind him. Gregson's just exiting the backstretch chicane right now. Schneider's still got plenty of time. He can take it easy into the front stretch chicane. Once Gregson crosses that start-finish line, he will not be able to lap Schneider. Didn't mean to hit the curbing there, but oh well. Didn't matter.
Flag is in the air.
Green-white checkered flag in the air. Noah Gregson's going to win Stage 2, sweeping the stages at the Charlotte Roval here today in a almost must-win situation. Can Noah Gregson make it into the round of 8 of the playoffs? He is putting on a show here in this one. He's won the most laps so far as well. And Schneider's not even going to be on the throttle right now. No need to. Just has to wait for the top 10 to cross the start-finish line. Cap24, welcome to the stream. I like the look of the next-gen car, but again, we're going to have to just wait and see how it is on the racetrack. That's the big thing with me. How are the cars going to be on the racetrack? We've seen glimpses of cars on the track, yes, but not in big packs. You know, no more than 3 on the racetrack at the same time, too. So, yeah, until we get at least 10 cars on the racetrack, we're not really going to know exactly how they're going to drive in traffic and everything else, and how the dirty air is going to play effect. Because it will still play an effect to a certain extent. All right, so Gregson wins the second stage. Again, have to do the points myself. Thanks, NASCAR Heat, for crashing, by the way. Once again, it did not save the last race, so we got to do this again, I know. But it's to have the accurate point standings. I'm only doing what's right. Jeremy Clements, another great stage, finishing in 9th. Let's see here. And then we got Chase Briscoe, Harrison Burton. Burton should be locked up into the next round now. Briscoe's got 10 points himself. Oh, why does it keep doing that? I need to go back into the stream now. It keeps restarting me at the bottom every time I unpause it. All guys locked in the next round, not worried about him. Hemrick finished 6th in the stage once again. Oh, no, that was stage 1. Hang on. Hang on. Cindric finished 7th. Who else was I missing? So Cindric finished 7th. Getting 4. Hemrick finished 8th. There it is. Missed him. 3 points for Hemrick. So, into the final stage. All right, let's see here. So, Gregson gets 20. 20 points on Brandon Brown, who has not scored any stage points at all today. Tough break for him. Okay. Again, I'm doing this on Google Docs for those of you that are... Should have watched F1 this morning. Yeah, I was a little busy this morning trying to get everything ready to go for the fantasy podcast today. 12 likes already, by the way, right now, so thanks for everybody hitting that like button. Make sure you do so. We're about to get the final stage underway. I know the game's paused right now, but I have to do the points myself. Make sure it's all accurate with the stage points, and we know what the stage points are looking like going into the final stage. And the reason why I have to do it myself, again, the game crashed from when we played 2 nights ago after the Las Vegas race, so it did not save that. I had to screenshot the current point standings from there and then just keep calculating it on from here. So Briscoe's still 13 points ahead. Drops him back. Man, this is just so confusing. That everybody like is right on the cut line that's scoring these stage points, so really trying to make sure that this is accurate. Might just have to wait till the end of the race, honestly. I don't want to do that so we know how it's going to shape up as the race is running. All right, so got this right now. So into the final stage of the race. Oh, I didn't get Austin Cindric yet. Hang on, I forgot Austin Cindric. Let's see, he got 11 stage points today, so he's 22 points above. Lewis, 98th win. Came from 23 seconds back to win. And pulls out to 16. How is he that fast? Pit stops, I'm sure, had to play a factor into that, I would assume. He was probably I'm guessing he was 23 seconds behind. And then there were probably some sort of pit strategy that helped get him that way. There's no way he would have pulled 39 seconds on max without pit strategy. There's no way he'd be that much faster. I mean, that's like... I mean, considering... I don't know how many laps were left when he was that far back, but let's say there were 30 laps to go. That's well over a second a lap. Every lap faster. Not including pit stops. But even still, I mean, that's still impressive. Still very impressive. All right, so into the final stage here. Now we got to just reorganize this. So Harrison Burton is locked into the next round on points. So we don't even have to worry about Harrison Burton the rest of the race. Burton is locked in to the playoffs. Obviously, Schneider and Allgaier are locked in on wins, but Burton is now locked in on points with his stage points scored today. 6 total stage points. He is currently 57 points ahead of the cutoff line just based on race finish alone. He can't be outscored by more than 35, so... Harrison Burton's locked in. Michael Annette's very close to being locked in, it looks like, still. But no guarantees for him if he has an issue in this final stage. And, Gregson or Clements wins, who are in position to win, especially Gregson. It's not over from there, and he's the number 4 seed, so it's still looking very, very tight. 17. I did this really weird compared to how I usually do. That's why it's taking me so long. I just had like the differential coming into this race instead of like their exact points, so it's harder to do the math. Having to do more adding and subtracting than what I would usually have to. Usually I would just tally the points and do the quick math in my head, but I only had the differentials up there. That was my fault on that one. Again, I wouldn't have to do this, though, if the game would have not, if it would have just saved my Las Vegas race, we wouldn't have this issue. 21st. Got Hemrick. +2. Bear with me. Bear with me. Emmanuel Mwangi. What's going on? Just joined. Currently in the middle of the Charlotte Roval race. We're about to go into the final stage. We will be restarting from the lead on pit strategy. We pitted right before the end of the stage, before pit road closed with 2 to go. So we only have about 2-lap-old tires, and we were really running like partial throttle all the way around the track. We had time to kill without going a lap down. So we're virtually on equal tires, so I wouldn't even consider that against us. Maybe a lap older tires. It might cost us on the first lap or two, but then they'll even out after that as far as trying to hold everybody off the win. And then we'll see how much that clean air will come into effect as well. Currently just tallying the points again because the NASCAR, I'm not even going to repeat myself again but after this, but it's because NASCAR Heat 5 crashed on me on Friday night last time we streamed NASCAR Heat 5, so it didn't save the Vegas race, so we're having to do the points myself just to make sure everything's calculated properly. All right, let's see. 3 from... I'm really sorry. I don't know why this is taking me so long this time. Hope we get points, top 10. Well, we are locked in. We already won, but... All right, here we go. 3... Back. All right, so the current... Make sure we got this. Okay, we're good. So the current point standings look like this into the final stage. So this is with all the stage points calculated. The final stage looks like this. The 4 drivers below the cutoff line. Anthony Alfredo still minus 21. Noah Gregson is now minus 10 with the 2 stage wins here today. So he is a lot closer, but he still has to outscore the cutoff driver by 10 positions right now, which isn't impossible. He may have to go to victory lane, though. So 10 points into the final stage. Gregson would be 11. Number 10 right now is tied between Brandon Brown and Daniel Hemrick. They're both 3 points below the cutoff line. First driver above the cutoff line is Chase Briscoe. Jeremy Clements. Briscoe's 10 points above the cutoff line. Jeremy Clements is only 3 points above the cutoff line right now. So Clements is the last guy in. And then Briscoe is only 10 points in. Cindric is now 22 points in. He came in 11 above. And then nothing has changed with Michael Annett or Brandon Jones because they didn't get any stage points at all. The cut line didn't really move, so still 31 back for Annett and 25 back for 31 up and 25 up for Annett and Jones. So they're still looking pretty comfortable, considering that you can only score 40 points for your finishing position. Now we're into the much and highly anticipated final stage of the race. Again, apologize for that. Everything's good to go now on points. Up to date, green flag in the air, 22 laps to go to decide the winner for the Xfinity Series race at the Charlotte Roval. Schneider with a good launch into the Tums Hartburn turn as he led the field down there. Side by side for second right now between Noah Gragson and Alex LeMay. Right on his back bumper. Schneider's getting through these corners about perfectly, and they're still side by side for second. Schneider's just got to push hard into the very finish. Finished 9th, 32nd in both stages. 32nd again because he pitted at the end of stage 2. To get this track position. Gragson, who won the first 2 stages, was able to fend off Alex LeMay and get to second place. Schneider's going to try to lead his first green flag lap of the race at the start-finish line right here. Pulls away from Gragson again. In the backstretch chicane, LeMay put a lot of pressure on him but couldn't get around Gragson. Schneider's just led his first green flag lap of the race with 21 laps to go. You can really see, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, Gragson might have to use the bumper. Again, he would have to outscore Jeremy Clements by 10 spots. Clements is currently in 4th. So it's not looking good for Noah Gragson. Brandon Brown would have to outscore Clements by 3, but he's not even in the top 10. Gragson again pulls closer through Roval 1 and 2. Schneider locked the brakes up definitely that time, slid the tires, but still got into the braking zone well. And again, just being pressured by Gragson right now, really forcing to have to hit his marks absolutely perfectly. He gives up just the slightest bit of a run, and Gragson's going to get on at least to the inside of him. 20 laps to go at the Roval. Gaps him in the front stretch chicane though. LeMay almost peeked out and made a move on Gragson as well, but he's being a little patient. Hemrick's back up to 5th place. Sorry, that's Ray Black Jr. Briscoe's right behind him. Next up, downshift into first gear. Still a good launch off the corner though. Pulled Gragson by about a car length. I didn't think he was going to. He gave up a lot of time on corner entry.
Right side.
Schneider looking for just his 4th win of the season, but he's won 2 of the last 4. Trying to make it 3 in the last 5. 5 playoff points awarded for a win. Carry over into the round of 8. Gragson just pressuring the 99 of Schneider, but Schneider again hits his marks absolutely perfect in the backstretch chicane. The problem is trying to replicate how perfect he's hitting these corners for a 10-lap stretch. Sorry, 20-lap stretch rather. 22, I guess, if you count the first 2 laps of the stage as well. Can't lock the tires up. The tires are only going to wear out more and more throughout the course of the stage. I know Gragson's probably got the better car, but it's so hard to pass in road courses, especially if you're trying to pass the guy that's out in front. The cleanest air in the field. Everybody else, some sort of dirty air on this racetrack. Gregson almost in the wall. He is running so deep into these infield corners. LeBay looking to the outside of Noah Gregson for second place. Hard to go side by side through the chicanes on this racetrack, but look at them make it through turn, well, whatever turn that is, getting in the backstretch chicane. This is a 17-turn road course. Gregson held him off, though, as well, beating him back to the gas, and sends it into the front stretch chicane, not only trying to get away from the cars behind him, but again, close in on Schneider. And Clement is up to third, trying to maybe put himself in a position where if Gregson wins, then Clements would be the first driver below the cutoff line. In that case, he would have to outscore Briscoe by 7 positions. Briscoe just outside the top 5 and 6. Clements in third's only 3 spots ahead, so Briscoe's likely going to have to drop 4 more. Here comes Gregson to the inside. Schneider kind of squeezes him, but Gregson holds on strong, used the bumper, in fact, but was not able to make the pass. Best opportunity he's had to get around the 99 yet. So he'll pull out of line here and try to make the passes. He had a huge run getting back into Oval 1 and 2. Clements is going to look high, so does Gregson, up high to block. See some great racing on the road courses here in NASCAR Heat 5. And we're setting up for another wild one with the playoff stakes on the line. It's Clements and Gregson nose to tail right behind Schneider for the lead. A second and a half back to LeMay in fourth, who has led laps today. And look at Clements send it into the 99 car and gets around Gregson on the outside. He couldn't clear him with the contact of the 99, but he tried to move him. And now Gregson looks high into turn 1, and they make contact. And here comes LeMay, 3-1 for second place into turn 2. All the contact with everybody allows Alex LeMay to get himself a shot again. Schneider got moved not once but twice, but he still hangs on to the lead, and Gregson, through all that, hangs on to second. LeMay gets back around Clements again for third, and Gregson again uses the bumper on Schneider, the second time he's already tried to move him. Didn't get to him enough that time like he did off the front stretch chicane. Should say turn 1. How was he 3 wide on the outside and was able to hold on to second place? That was just impressive. Clements is fading now. He's side by side with Ray Black Jr. Briscoe all over the back of both of them. Gregson shakes back and forth to try and get the 99 car maybe a little out of shape into the backstretch chicane, but Schneider pulls him again through the shifts. Gregson's going to get a big draft though through Oval 3 and 4. And now LeVay is the guy in third place, opening up the top 2, making a mistake. And he can maybe capitalize. Gregson, currently, as we run, is in a must-win situation. Unless he can beat Clements by 10 positions, I just don't see that happening, though. Not with Clements running as good as he is. He made a boneheaded mistake, diving not only for second, but first place at the same time. He could have probably gotten Gregson, but he went for both of them in a chicane nonetheless. Obviously, that's why it was contact, and it didn't work out for him. He got the worst end of it. Gregson again takes a peek. Couldn't make the pass. Schneider locks the tires up. He goes wide. And Gregson, though, could not quite clear him back for the lead. And again, Schneider fends him off. Gregson was so close to clearing the 99 right there. And Schneider drove him so cleanly, yet so aggressively. Was able to pull him back just enough and clear him. And the top 4 are all back to 5, really, because that's Clement back there. Schneider again locks the tires. He's using those tires up so much. But Gregson did not get into the backstretch chicane well at all there either. We still have 15 laps to go when we get back to the line for these pressure-packed final 22 laps of this stage. We've only had one caution per incident so far as well, so we could get another restart. and bunch everything back together also. Clements did make the pass on 4th, getting around Ray Black Jr. And he's currently looking to the inside into the Tums Hartburn turn on Alex LeVay for 3rd, but he couldn't get around him there.
Left side. You got room. You're clear.
He's starting to slide the tires almost too much. It's not that he's locking them up and overdriving the car. It's that how much he's locked them up, just trying to stay in front of Gregson. Really causing this car to slide around a little bit more. And these tires aren't even extremely old either.
Right side.
That is what Gregson wanted, to put the pressure on, but he has still not gotten around him. And you would have liked to have gotten around him by now. After so many failed attempts, it's Alex LeVay who passes Gregson back into Oval 1 and 2, and LeVay's back into 2nd place. Clements in 4th, Briscoe in 5th, all the bubble drivers in the top 5. Gregson again powers inside the 36 of LeVay. Forced him on the outside though on the exit of the chicane. He pulls back in between the 36 and the 51 cars. LeVay drives it so hard into that front stretch chicane. I mean, that's how he was able to get alongside Gregson a little bit earlier. You thought Schneider drives it hard on the corner entry into there. LeVay drives it in even harder. Lap traffic will likely become a factor before the end of the race if it stays green. Gregson had a little bit of lap traffic to deal with in the last 2 laps of stage stage 2 rather, but there was nobody else battling around him, so he was able to take his time and he only lapped a couple cars. We do have 2 drivers on pit road, one of which probably already out of the race. Somebody else might have just picked up damage, but we stay green still. Again, only 1 caution for incident. Which on these road courses this season, we have not had more than 2 cautions. 2 at Mid-Ohio, 1 at Road America, and 2 at Watkins Glen. And only 1 so far today, so I don't expect there being more than 1 more caution the rest of this race unless the restarts start to run craziness. We've seen some huge crashes in turn 1. Pivotal crashes at that turn 1 here at the Charlotte Roval on late race restarts. I'll be surprised if we see something like that again. Harrison Burton just came off of pit road. He's locked in on points, luckily, with the stage points he scored in this race today. Plus all the other points, of course, he scored in the races prior. And he's holding up the leaders, but not Schneider. Schneider came out ahead of him. Burton pulled out in front of 2nd. He's still side-by-side with LeVay, and that has costed the rest of the field there. Schneider is out to about a 1.5-second lead over Alex LeVay, Gregson, Clements, and Chase Briscoe inside the top 5. LeVay finally got around Harrison Burton. Clements to 3rd. He gets around Gregson. Burton had a top 10 car, so he must have had a tire that went down that forced him to have to pit up the grid. Tough break, but again, he's already in the next round. Tony Lassiter, welcome to the stream. Exits 4 seconds back now, and his chances of winning this race are slipping away late. Just 12 laps to go at the line with just over a 1-second lead for the 99 of Schneider. He locked the tires up big time into turn 1. That's going to cost him, perhaps, a couple tenths. One thing to lock the tires up, you can still gain time locking the tires up. It just depends on how long you slide for. You just can't control the slide usually. Very, very little control. Today, so far, so good, man. We'll get the NASCAR Fantasy Podcast underway after this. Not going to have to do much, Matt, with the way things are shaping up right now. Nothing has changed with the cutoff driver Clements currently in third. Still got enough laps left. The only thing that can really change anything is if Gregson goes to victory lane. Or Hemrick, who likely still inside the top 10, and also he's only a couple points below the cutoff line. Joey Logano fan, welcome to the stream. Schneider doesn't have as much pressure as he did on that restart. He really wants us to play green to the end. 3.5 seconds on Clements. Gregson at fourth is 5 seconds off the lead now. That lap car of Harrison Burton played a big factor coming out of the pits behind Schneider, where Schneider never even had to work at all to get around him. I mean, he cleared him right away, and he came out right in front of second, which is crazy because they were only about a second off the lead as it was anyway. LeBay got around him pretty quick, but everybody else didn't. LeBay is slowly gaining on Schneider. Not quite close enough to get a draft off of him yet. Not really long straightaways, but long on throttle time through the oval 3 and 4, oval 1 and 2 on the racetrack. It's really where LeBay is able to gain again. We have a 90 on the engine power, but obviously without it being 100, we're lacking right there. Picks for Darlington. Again, that will be in the fantasy podcast coming up immediately after this race. Save all my analysis for that time.
I think 10 solid laps. Concentrate.
Finally caught Schneider, and the pressure's back on again. Gregson's trying to reel in. He was 5 seconds back, now it's 3 seconds back. Not that Schneider's lap times are really dropping off. LeBay's just running that much quicker right now. And he is going to be within striking distance by the time we get into this backstretch chicane. He's got a big run in the draft. He is closed in. Harrison Burton's still up there as well, but he's a lap car. In between the 36 and the 51.
You got room, you're clear there.
Again, kind of pulls LeBay in the chicanes for LeBay to just get a run in the draft on the exit. Kyle SN5, welcome to the stream. LeBay make the move. I'm playoff driver looking for a win here, his first of the season in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, 9 laps to go. Tires shouldn't get below 30%. If they do, though, it's going to be like driving on ice. Clements finally gets to the inside of the lap car of Harrison Burton. Trying to get around him as quickly as he can. Gregson is closed on Clements as well. Gregson in a must-win situation with Clements being the cutoff driver. He has to outscore him by 10 points here in the final stage, and he's not going to do that running anywhere close to Clements. Even if he does get around him, Clements is going to be right there still. So Gregson has to win. And if Gregson wins, then Clements has to outscore Briscoe by 3 positions, and currently Briscoe's 5th. So this is the situation we're looking at right now as far as the last playoff spots go. Busch is your favorite. Well, congratulations for him getting a win last week. Schneider nearly perfect in the backstretch chicane. DRG, welcome to the stream. Race has been good indeed. Schneider trying to pull off another win in this round. 3 in the last 5 races after only having 3 total all season. The team has come to play late. He's looking for the extra playoff points. $363,000 to win for the purse, so this is a big race to win as far as that goes. And that pit strategy at the end of stage 2 to get in this track position has really paid worthy because he's led every lap of the final stage so far. And he just hasn't made a mistake. He's been moved 3 times, but he's still held on to the lead all 3 times somehow. Clements crosses over on LeBay, and they're side by side for second place. Gregson struggling, I think, to get around Burton. That's why he's 3 seconds off the lead again. And there goes Clements, side by side with Alex LeBay. He wants to get himself in position to win the race. He's the last driver in on points into the final stage. We've got lap traffic coming up in about a half a lap or less. I think Kyle Busch can definitely be a contender at Darlington. Done very well there in the past. Oh, Schneider almost spun off the curbing, getting back to the gas. Car slid out quite a bit. It actually didn't cost him too much time. The way the 51 and the 36 were battling, but a little scary scenario there. 7 laps remain. Still haven't quite caught the lap cars. This is going to be the first Schneider's been in dirty air in the final stage. He needs to get around these lappers as quick as possible. Matt Mills in the 5, and then the 89 of Landon Castle. Schneider's on the outside of Mills. Got around him cleanly. Quickly working on Castle. Clements to the outside of Mills as well. So Schneider got around those lap cars about as quick as he possibly could. Well done job there, but we still got laps remaining. Clements got around him pretty quick also. Staying in front of LeBay. Gregson, the pressure on Alex LeBay now for third. Right behind him in the middle of lap traffic. Briscoe's about 5 seconds back in fifth. He just has to hope he hangs on to that position. If Gregson goes to victory lane, again, Clements has to beat Briscoe by 3 spots. Or sorry, the other way around. No, yeah, I had it right. Okay, so Clements would have to beat Briscoe by 3 positions. I'm sorry. Clements would be the first guy below the cutoff line if Gregson wins. They bounce off the curb. Clements actually gained a ton in the front stretch chicane. 6 to go. Schneider's been getting through there better than everybody else. Clements moves the 99 of Schneider out of the way. Clements with a bump and run. Schneider battles hard. They're still side by side for the lead. Schneider, bump, and he gets back around him again. He figured Clements moved him, he can move him out of the way too. And that's exactly what he did.
Right side.
XXGXX, welcome to the stream. We'll be coming to 5 to go this time, and the top 3 are under a blanket. Gregson only 2.5 seconds back, trying to close on this battle. The more these guys battle, he's going to have a shot to get that win. In a must-win situation to make it on into the round of 8. Clements has already used the bumper once. In turn 1 the last time through. With 5 to go and less time coming up. Will he get around him again? He's all over him into the front stretch chicane. Schneider has just flat out not made a mistake this entire race, including the final stage. That's why he's led every lap. Pulled Clements that time. He doesn't want to give Clements another shot to get to his bumper. He's going to have a chance down those longer on throttle times in Oval 1 and 2 and Oval 3 and 4. Schneider just doesn't have the engine power there. Well, that's nothing he can do. He's doing everything he can here in this one. Big slide, dropping it to first gear, and that actually kind of worked. I don't know how. It's an accident that I did it, but it actually kind of worked. Maybe used a little bit more of the tires.
Right side.
Clements is there. Gregson desperately trying to get around Alex LeBay. I just don't think he's got enough time. Schneider went a little wider than what he wanted to right there. He was trying to get back into the gas as quick as he possibly could. Side Uranus, welcome to the stream. Schneider trying to block, trying not to wheel hop as well with Clements all over his back bumper. Gregson still right on LeBay. Another shot in the trap this time when they get into the front stretch chicane. Clements has a run. So does LeBay. Clements is stacked up. LeBay looks high for second place. Didn't make the pass that time. He was patient. 4 to go. Still more lap traffic to come. to get through these lap cars as quickly as he did in the first couple. CJ McLaughlin in the 93 will be the next lapper.
Right side.
Schneider went a little wide. Here comes Clements again. Very brief move, but he was on the outside in that corner, so he couldn't hang on. And Schneider's caught behind McLaughlin, getting back onto oval 1 and 2. That costed him a ton of time. And here's Clements again. Schneider couldn't quite get back to the gas to get underneath McLaughlin. That costed him. Here comes Clements. Schneider trying to block. McLaughlin in the way.
Right side.
Oh, and Schneider's trying to move the 93. He got into the back of him. Stacking the leaders up. Still hangs on to the lead, and LeBay is underneath Clements for second. Gregson nearly took it 3 wide. Will he into the chicane? If they do, I don't think they're going to make it. Schneider just cannot get around the 93. He's in the back of him again. 3 to go. Finally gets to his inside into turn 1.
Still there.
Harrison Burton, the lap car in the mix back there as well. As Schneider just cannot clear the 93 of CJ McLaughlin. Finally does into turn 3.
Right side. Right side's clear.
That cost him so much time, but he was still able to hold on. LeBay's going to get around him a lot quicker than Schneider did. What about Gregson and Clements? Briscoe's now in the mix. So is Ray Black Jr. That could be the spots if Gregson wins, that Clements could beat Briscoe by 3. Briscoe would have to finish 5th or better to lock into the playoffs regardless of what happens here. There's got almost a second on LeBay into the backstretch chicane again. Another lap car coming up of Jeff Green in the 38. And then I don't believe there's going to be another lap car the rest of this race. Clements again to the back bumper of LeBay for second place. LeBay just not quite close enough to get a draft off Schneider. Definitely pulled the Newman right there. Big gain. The 99 on the 38. 2 laps to go here at the Roval. Schneider needs to get around Green as quickly as he can. Caught him in a bad spot trying to get back to the gas there in turn 1. Squeezes underneath. Crosses over on Jeff Green this time into the corner, and Schneider runs right into the side of him. And Alex LeBay is there again. Schneider is struggling with the lap traffic late, but again he gets by Green and narrowly holds on to the lead. No more lap cars the rest of this race, though, thankfully for the 99 ahead of him. But LeBay was able to close again after being about a second back. Clements again gets by the lap car pretty quickly as well. Gregson's still in 4th, but he's just over 2 seconds off the lead, and he is hoping for either a quick caution before they get back to the white flag, or he's hoping these guys take each other out, which isn't impossible either the way they've been racing. Big bobble off the curbing by LeBay. He lost a little time in the center, but he's still close enough to get a draft in oval 3 and 4. They'll be coming to the white flag this time. Gregson got around the lapper, but he's got 2 seconds to try and get to the leaders. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. And the Credit One Bank car is out in front. Schneider trying to pull off another win. His 4th of the season. His 3rd in the last 5 races. How clutch would this be, leading every lap of the final stage? Clements to the inside for second place. They're side by side off turn 3. That's going to help Schneider. They still might catch this lap car up ahead. I didn't think they were going to, as Chad Fincham in the 13. As they're side by side for second, they're already a second back of the lead. Gregson now right behind them both. Clements finally clears LeBay for second place. Gregson, though, again right there, and does Clements have a shot to win? He got around the second place car. Can he get around the leader? 2 chicanes to go. Schneider perfect into the backstretch chicane that time. Clements got through there pretty good as well. He might have one more shot. It's not over yet. Front stretch chicane. Here we go. Clements has a run in the draft. Clements Right on the back bumper. Will he use the bumper into the final chicane? Not quite close enough. Schneider's going to hold on to win the Charlotte Roval in the cutoff race of the round of 12. His 4th win of the season. As mentioned, 3 in the last 5. What a roll this 99 team has been on late. His first road course win of the season with the pressure on. Not having more than a 2-second lead in the final stage. Bumper-to-bumper traffic the whole time. He never made a single mistake. The lap cars got in his way. On 2 occasions, he got moved. On 3 occasions and still hung on to the lead. And somehow, through all the odds, the 90 on the engine power, suffering down those long on throttle times, has to be the most impressive win so far this season. Has to be. And probably the most deserving, too. Because he fought hard all day. What a strategy call at the end of Stage 2 when he was running 5th to pit before pit road closed. Knowing they were going to be good on fuel and tires to the end. Then he needs to take notes for me. Awesome. Led every lap of the final stage, that is. Again, not every lap of the race. Gregson won the first 2 stages, but still not good enough. He is going to come up short of a shot at the playoffs. He was in a must-win situation, finished 4th. Jeremy Clements will get the last spot on points. If Gregson would have won this race, it would have been a tie between Briscoe and Clements for the last playoff spot, but because Gregson did not win, Briscoe and Clements both get in to the next round. So the 8 drivers that will be in the next round of the playoffs will be Keegan Schneider and Justin Allgaier wins. Schneider winning 2 races in this round. Unbelievable there. And then Justin Allgaier winning at Las Vegas. Harrison Burton clinched on points at the end of Stage 2. Michael Annett clinched on points as well. Brandon Jones clinches on points. Austin Cindric clinched on points. He was only a plus 11 coming into the day, but a lot of stage points and a 9th place run for Cindric, so good enough there. Chase Briscoe and Jeremy Clements, the last 2 drivers, to get in on points by 12 over Noah Gragson. By 12 points, they beat out Noah. Unbelievable. 4th win. And we got the money indeed. $363,000. Look at that. Almost $400,000 with all the merch and the sponsorship payout. 5 more playoff points to carry into the round of 8. See if all the drivers... No, Clements missed on there, so did Jones. So yeah, these points are not accurate, so we will have to do the points the rest of the season. Or at least through the round of 8, and then obviously we'll have our championship 4 by then. But so don't pay attention to the points right there on your screen. The only thing, even the playoff points aren't accurate. So yeah, so don't pay attention to that. What a win! The 4 drivers to miss out on this round of the playoffs are Daniel Hemrick. We mentioned Noah Gragson. Anthony Alfredo was last of those drivers, and then Brandon Brown's miracle season comes to an end. He will miss the next round as well, so I'll get these guys off my documents so I don't have to tally their points the rest of the year. I'm only focusing on the guys that are in the playoffs because it makes it easier for me. It makes my life easier. So yeah, there we go. What a win. What a win. Clements had the fastest lap, too. I think Gragson led the most. No, we led the most. 23 laps led by leading every lap in the final stage. Every green flag lap in the final stage, we were able to lead the most. But Gragson dominated, though. He won the first 2 stages. LeBay looked strong early. Leading a lot of laps in the first stage. Well, we know we can win in the clutch. If anything proved. Between Darlington, we were almost in a must-win situation to get in. Winning at Bristol when we didn't know what the next 2 races were going to look like. We blew a tire at Vegas, finished 26th, so we didn't run well there. And we just had a strong day here. We sacrificed stage points, but for the race win, it was well worth it. It was well worth it. Strategy played out as perfectly as you could have hoped. We've got enough money. The short track chassis will be bought right now. We got it well early, too. That was a big win. Keegan Schneider advances to the round of 8 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. The round of 8 is nice, but Homestead or bust. Homestead or bust. Considering the championship is at Phoenix now, it's still Homestead or bust, I guess. Well, we didn't win at Homestead earlier this year, so I guess it's a bust. I can't believe they have that in the game still. If you didn't know it was a copy and paste game from Heat 4 to Heat 5, there's more proof. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Digging. Don't lose focus. Keep digging. Indeed, Cindric. And well, we might see him in the championship 4. He's in the round of 8. Playoffs on the next round. Congratulations from Riley Herbst. Keep digging. Tommy Joe Martins. Same thing that Cindric said. So, Allgaier tripling down on that. Quadrupling down is Anthony Alfredo, despite getting eliminated in that round as well. We might see Allgaier in there, too. He's got 2 wins this season now. He's on a little bit of a hot streak. A couple straight top 10s, a win. Damn, it's even more broke than I thought, yeah. Yeah, we have to do the points ourselves, and then I guess it's Homestead or bust, too, for whatever reason. Kansas is the next race. That won't be coming until Tuesday, because we have some NASCAR 05 action later tonight after the Cup race, and then we will have NASCAR Heat 5 again tomorrow, but it'll be the custom schedule mode. We go to Talladega, so that'll be a fun race. So Tuesday night, we'll return with the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode at Kansas for the first race of the round of 8. And we just need one more top 10 to get that incentive bonus, too. So we can purchase that chassis. We'll do that right now. It will be... Yeah, what if I accidentally put Speedway? Oh, that would be terrible. No, short track chassis. We finally have it. And that gamble of making the extra cash we needed and just spending it before the end of the regular season couldn't have paid off anymore. Council's about to take off from the airport. Oh, yeah. You guys can probably hear the fan in the background, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's ready for takeoff, indeed. All right, let's see here. So we could we could buy 2 employees. We can hire 2 employees. Let's see, what else do we need? We got 2 of each, so I guess we can get another engine specialist. Hector Santos. And then we'll get another engine specialist, too. Or, sorry, aero. Engine and an aero specialist. We'll train them up a little bit. Where are they at? We'll go to a 7 on her. Maggie Palmer. We'll go to a 7 on the other dude. Hector, where are you at? Hector Santos. We'll go to... Okay, I guess we can only go to 5. I didn't realize how much money we blew there. Okay, 5's fine. We're going all in, ladies and gentlemen. We are going for this championship this season, so we can hopefully move to Cup. Yeah. Short track chassis, might as well get that prepped and ready to go now. Hang on, let's get the Speedway chassis first. Speedway chassis is going to be ready to go. 90, 85, and 85 when we roll into Kansas. And then we'll work on the short track chassis as well. Get that ready for Martinsville/Phoenix. Hopefully we don't have to use it. If we win at either Kansas or Texas, we're just going to use the road course chassis or super speedway, whatever, at Martinsville and not bang up the short track chassis and save the short track chassis for Phoenix because we don't want to bang it up 2 races in a row if we don't have to. So I guess we'll just get the super speedway chassis about as ready to go as we can. Everything's good to go. On to Kansas. Phoenix AI is way too difficult. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Never say die. We might actually do this. Channel Racing is on the up, and up. well, according to this, we're 1 point below the cutoff line. Gregson's not in the playoffs, so that's not accurate. And then Hemrick's not in either. We got to take Clements' points, and who else on here didn't make it that made it for us? Missing somebody. Brandon Jones. Yeah, Brandon Jones is in the next round, but he didn't make it on there. Poor Gregson, man. 4 wins on the season. Still not enough. Harrison Burton's only got 5 wins, by the way. When I had to simulate it, use that. Do I use custom setups? Not on the career mode, no. All right, that's going to wrap it up here. We got to get on to the NASCAR Fantasy Podcast, and then that'll take you to the start of the race today. So like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'll see you guys here in a couple minutes. We'll break down all things fantasy for today's throwback race at Darlington. I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching. This was a very fun race.